For a fun little video today, I figured let's take a look at The Walking Dead's villains. We'll do a quick little tier list of them, S being the best villain, A being a great villain, B being a good, C being a meh, D being a trash villain. I'm going to kind of like change my criteria around, I guess, as I go, because like we're going to talk about how I feel about these villains as we go. But that being said, let's jump right into it. We have Alpha, and I think Alpha is a B tier villain personally. I liked Alpha more in the comics. I thought she was really awesome in the comics, but I didn't really like the portrayal here necessarily. And that's not Samantha Morton's fault. I just don't necessarily like the direction that they went down with her. This is the most ridiculous reason, but I didn't like her voice. It really just bothered me, and it wasn't what I thought when I was reading the comics. But that being said, I also just didn't really like her story arc that much. She was good, but she wasn't great. I don't know, there wasn't much of a pull there. And I think actually, believe it or not, Frowny McTwo-Knives is in the same boat, Beta. I think Alpha and Beta as villains, they just were not that strong. They were just kind of there. I kind of thought, and I've said this in a video where I ranked season 9 and 10 of The Walking Dead, I just really didn't like the Whisperer story arc in season 10 at all. I thought it was cool in season 9, but I didn't really like what they did with it in season 10. So for that reason, I don't think it deserves much else other than good tier, I guess. It's not bad at all. It was still fun, but I liked the comic Whisperers more than I liked the show Whisperers. So for that reason alone, they're both going to go in good tier. Then up next, we have Joe the Claimer. Joe the Claimer was only in a couple episodes, so I can't really give him like something satisfying, like amazing, but I will also put him in good tier. I thought he was just a good couple episode villain. He was kind of annoying, but then what happened with him getting his neck bit off was really interesting stuff, man. I really enjoyed that there, but it was very short-lived. So I didn't really think there was too much of a strong pull, but you know, it was just a quick little story. Next up, we have, I think her name was Debbie. I could be dead wrong. I can't remember. The police woman from season 5, D tier. I hated this storyline. I thought it was just such a stupid storyline. Not even adapted. This was a brand new, just original storyline for the show, and I absolutely hated it. I think I'm not alone when I say it was just a terrible storyline. They should have never put this to screen. Dawn, her name's Dawn. Couldn't stand it. Debbie. Dawn's storyline was just so stupid. She died in the most stupid way, and Beth died in the most stupid way because of this horrible storytelling. I couldn't stand it. I didn't like it, and this was just a trash tier villain. Up next, we have Gareth from Terminus. I'm going to put Gareth in A tier because I loved the Terminus storyline from the show. It was way better than the Hunters in the comics, and I just all around really liked what they did here with the Hunters / Terminus. I thought it was good. Gareth was scary, even though they were in only a couple episodes. Like, I sound a little hypocritical for saying I can't really rank Joe higher because Joe was also in only a couple episodes, but it's there's no denying that Gareth's impact on the main characters was huge. So there's definitely a scale difference here. Gareth was a very impactful villain. Up next, we have the Governor. Governor is an S tier. I don't really think that one needs a lot of explanation. David Morrissey, who plays the Governor, did a fantastic job. The Governor storyline was great. The only thing I didn't like about it was that they ruined Andrea in that storyline. But all around, the Governor was ruthless. And I actually like the TV Governor more than I like the comic one because it just felt more diabolical, whereas the one in the comics just felt like a loose cannon. Like as soon as they met Rick, chopped off his hand for what reason, I have no idea. In the TV show, he felt more grounded but evil and just all around a horrible person. And that is something that I really attribute again to David Morrissey. And I think just overall, they really improved the Governor this season, or well, technically season 3 and season 4. I just thought it was such a good storyline. I really loved what they did. Up next, we have Gregory. Gregory was one of those characters you were meant to hate, and God, I hated him, but I loved him too. So he's an A tier for me. He was fun to watch. His storylines were fun. He got what he deserved at the end of the day by getting hung. I just thought all around it was just fun storyline with him. He was annoying in a good way, not like in a bad way, where there's some villains that are just, you hate to watch them, like Dawn in particular. But like Gregory was fun. You were obviously meant to hate him, and they did a good job with it. His actor did a fantastic job, and I all around really liked him. I really did. I thought he was just fun, a great addition to season 9, and the tension there. And 8, I mean, not just 9, but 8 as well. And I just like what they did. Really good stuff here with Gregory. Up next, we have Jadis. Jadis was in the same amount of runtime as Gregory, season 7 to season 9. That being said, Jadis to me was I was going to put her in C tier, but I just didn't like the trash storyline. And it goes again with the same thing with Dawn. I do not like when these writers think they could write their own stuff. I don't like it at all. I just would have preferred these two storylines didn't exist. I really would. Jadis was cool, sure. Okay, to be fair, Jadis is better than Dawn. But that being said, that's not saying much. Jadis is just, weird. The storyline where they talked funny, what the fuck is this? This is supposed to be a realistic show, but when they kind of made her, and their group be like, we no kill. What? Why? It's just stupid. No one's going to be talking like that in an apocalypse. Get real. Seriously, get real. Now I feel like the drinking out of cups guy. No way, get real. But seriously. Well. Okay, my Siri just started playing music. Hey Siri, stop playing music. That was really weird. I'm keeping that in. That was bizarre. Anyway, up next we have the Wolves guy. I can't remember his name, but I liked him. He was a C tier. I mean, he was annoying. He was kind of ridiculous and all that stuff, but I did like this character, and I liked how at the end he kind of went out saving Denise, and it was just fun, I guess. I don't know. There's not much there. There's not much substance, but overall I did like him. I didn't think he was good, great, or superb. He was just meh. He was there. There's not much else. Oh, and by the way, if you see down here, there's Telltale Walking Dead characters here. I don't know any of them. This wasn't my list that I made. I'm not going to be reviewing them. I don't know. But anyway, up next we have Meryl. Meryl shouldn't even really be on the villain list. He's not really a villain. He was a bad dude, but he's not really a villain. But if we are going to give Meryl a rating on the villain scale, I think he's an S tier. I absolutely loved Meryl. I loved his story arc. I loved what he brought and how he was kind of on the governor's side, kind of on our team's side. It was a fun storyline with him. His death was so sad, and it was a shame to see because Michael Rooker, I think that's his name, he does such a good job, and I hated that they killed him off because I wanted him to stay in the story longer. And honestly, I think I would have preferred him over Daryl, to be completely. But I know people love Daryl, but I loved Meryl. Meryl was awesome. His story arc was better than anything, in my opinion, of Daryl's. I feel like Daryl didn't really have a story arc. He just learned to grunt. He went from a talker nah to that's it. That's the only thing Daryl did. Whereas Meryl went from a true asshole to someone trying to save the day, trying to be a good person. I love that storyline. I wish they told it a little bit more. Anyway, up next, oh boy, we have 3 greats here, man. We have, you know what? I'm going to start with Simon because Simon's not as significant as Negan or Shane, but they really deviated in season 8 of The Walking Dead and made Simon an actual character because in the comics, there wasn't really a Simon. There was this character who was kind of like Simon for 1 episode, but they didn't really have a Simon, and oh my god, I loved Simon. Simon's an S tier for me. I absolutely loved Simon as a villain, and it helped tell the Negan story so much better. I loved it. I thought he made season 8, and it was a shame when they killed him off because he was such a fun addition to season 8. And I really do. I'm going to say it a million times. I'm working on a video. I genuinely think that season 8 was a lot better than people make it out to be. Simon was a reason of that. Stephen Ogg is so good, and basically seeing Trevor from GTA on screen was just so awesome. It really was. I loved Simon. I really did. He was such a fun villain. Loved him, loved him. Tried to take over Negan, and he succeeded, and then died for it, and oh man, it was just so fun. He was so good. Stephen Ogg, bravo. Good stuff there. But that is only beat by Negan, who is at the very top of my S tier. Negan's my favorite character in The Walking Dead ever, even over Rick, even over Morgan, all of them. I fucking love Negan. I think he's just an amazing character. His arc is the best arc I've seen in TV ever. Love Negan. Yes, not a good dude. Even up until season 11, not really a good dude at all. But he developed so much from a horrible person to a person trying his best to right every wrong he made. And that is a fantastic story. I loved this story. If anything, and I've said many times, The Walking Dead, after Negan was introduced, didn't become The Walking Dead anymore. It went from the Rick Walking Dead to the Negan Walking Dead. Two totally different shows, essentially. And Negan's was so fucking good. For what it was just outstanding. That being said, I mean, the old Walking Dead is perfect TV, but it's kind of like, I made this analogy in another video. I forget what video I made, but it's kind of like Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. Dark Side of the Moon is one of the best albums of all time, but Dogs, or Animals, I should say, by Pink Floyd is the best Pink Floyd album, if that makes any weird sense. Like, I kind of feel the same way about Negan. The Walking Dead, up until season 6, was like the best TV show ever. Really was. It was my favorite show ever. However, season 7 and on was like my favorite Walking Dead material because Negan was in it, and the story arc of Negan was so good. It could surpass every bad mistake that the writers made, like the Carl thing, and a lot of what happened in season 11 and yada yada. But all of that could go away and it wouldn't matter. Negan is just what makes the show. Yes, it's not nearly as good as The Walking Dead used to be, but ever since he got in it, it became a totally different show. And in my opinion, for the better for that story. Even though I think The Walking Dead was ruined along the way because of everything else, Negan still alone. If you just put Negan Smith in a corner and focus on him, he just made everything. He was so amazing. I absolutely love Negan. Perfect character. Like, literally a perfect character in TV. And anyway, last but not least, we have Shane. I know some people would say Shane was the very best. I do think so. So, I mean, I'm gonna, yeah, okay, fine. I'm not even gonna try to sugarcoat it. Shane's an S tier. Shane is awesome. I loved the dynamic of Rick and Shane. And even though I wasn't a big fan of season 2 overall, like it wasn't my favorite season of The Walking Dead, I admit that Shane was such an amazing part of it. Jon Bernthal, fantastic actor. This was the start of his career. He did so well in this role. He was believable as just a bad person, but in the same vein, believable as a hardened person who would have been perfect for the apocalypse. Rick didn't see it, and therefore it makes Rick kind of look bad, if that makes any sense. But Shane was just so awesome. The dynamic he had with Rick was just so amazing. And overall, I just love Shane. I really do. I think Shane was just great. And with that being said, that's the list. I love Negan so much. I love Shane so much. Governor's an S tier. Simon's an S tier. Meryl's an S tier. Everyone else, they're all right. They're just okay. But those are the best villains. And yeah, with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching this video. I'd love to hear your list in the comments down below. Let's start a healthy conversation down there. And until the next one, thank you so much for watching. Peace out. Talk to you later. Even though that's not what I say, I usually say talk to you later. Peace out. But I don't know. This video is not conventional. I'm not using my other camera. Anyway, okay, fine. I'm done. I'm done talking. You get the gist. Talk to you later. Peace out.